It's a necessity for real Christians to forget their feelings. It's not that we don't have feelings, but as real believers, it is necessary that we lay our feelings aside and we take God at His word. We have to do that in crisis. We have to do that in good times. We have to do that in mediocre times. And we particularly have to do it in difficult times because life is a strain and it's stressful. Fear is the enemy of faith, and it's easy for all of us to walk in fear. But as true believers, we have to put fear aside. Sometimes we have to drive it out. Sometimes we have to talk to it and tell it to go so that faith can come and take its place, because you're given a measure of faith. It's never that you don't have enough faith as a believer. God is either sovereign or He is not sovereign. And if we walk away from any situation and say, if there would have been another doctor, if there would have been another medicine, if there would have been another procedure, if we walk away with that kind of a declaration, we're not moving in faith, we're moving in feelings. Because if God is sovereign, the right man will show up at the right time to do whatever needs to be done. And we're not looking to man anyway, we're looking to God. God is leading the believer. Sometimes we don't even know we're being led. We just feel a tug or a pull or an urge. And it is the Spirit of the Lord within us, directing us and leading us, whether we're aware of it or not. I believe the more aware we become of the leadership of the Spirit in our life, the more successful we'll be as Christians in the last days. I want you to know there's a peace that Jesus has that's not just the absence of turmoil. Come on now. It's not just the absence of a problem, but He said, the peace that I give to you. How many of you know that He taught us that it abides forever? It seems to pass all human understanding, and it never leaves us. If you've ever experienced that peace when you needed Him, let me see your hand as a testimony. He comes. And in that moment that you found it hard to come to peace, it's because you are letting your feelings rule. And in that moment, no one can do it for you, brother. No one can control your feelings and emotions but you. It is our responsibility to take a hold of those things. When we recognize them pulling us away from the Word, when we feel those things pulling us away from faith, it's our responsibility to take them captive, to arrest them, to submit them. Isn't that what He said? Casting down all imagination and taking captive every thought that's contrary to truth. Did you know yielding to that stuff one time can pull you right out of the will of God? It can place a bitterness within you, and that bitterness, it seems like it normally takes years and years for bitterness to grow, but we're living in such an accelerated hour that by entertaining those negative thoughts, we can find nearly overnight that a bitterness has taken hold. And what's wrong with bitterness is we start seeing everything around us from the filter of bitterness. And we get madder and madder and madder and madder. We get more jealous and more jealous and more jealous. And the next thing you know, we start cutting ourselves off from the people who love us the most. We start cutting ourselves off from the church that is there to help us, from our leaders that are there to help us. So we isolate ourselves into a depression, where if we could recognize who we are and what authority we have over our own life. I can't take jealousy out of your life, but I can deal with it in mine.